Hey, Sim fans, we are back here at the booth of Navigraph, and we got Magnus here. Great to meet you.
Likewise.
And we're going to talk a little bit about some of your new products, the Taxiway Routing, which I think a lot of people are excited about. You got some AI stuff that everybody's excited about, and so just want to talk maybe first off really quick on what are those new products? You keep enhancing I've got a subscription like many followers for a long time.
Right.
Great products in that. Love the Navigraph charts, use them all the time.
Great.
But yeah, talk to us a little bit about your announcement this week. A lot of you are interested in the taxiway routing and other things, but I'm going to turn it over to you, Magnus.
Sure. All right, so Navigraph is a company that provides charts, navigation data, and flight planning, and soon also aviation training, actually. So Navigraph charts is typically what people see when they talk about Navigraph. And Navigraph charts has had 3 updates recently that we're going to publish in the fall. The first one is taxiway routing, like you mentioned. Now it's possible to receive taxi clearance and punch it into Navigraph charts, and it will provide you with a route from the gate to the runway, the departure runway, or vice versa, from the arrival runway back to the gate again. And this is really good for complex airports where it's not obvious where you need to go, for instance, but there's also more. So when you hook it up to Simlink, you'll get live traffic on there. So we will alert you when there's other aircraft on your taxi route. There's also hotspots there so that you can know when you need to have your head on a swivel. And all the holding points are of course also marked there, and there will eventually be an audible warning when you're crossing somewhere where you need to hold so that you don't create a runway incursion, for instance. VFR charts. So now we're going to have VFR charts covering the entire Europe. We already have FAA sectionals in the States, and we're going to add VFR charts from Jeppesen at some point as well.
That's great.
But we have this additional provider called Rogers Data that we're collaborating with now. So this fall, for no extra charge, included in the subscription that is called Navigraph Unlimited, you will get VFR coverage in Europe as well.
Wow.
So that's
nice.
Indeed it is, I think. And then Simlink. Simlink is already in existence, but we have made some alterations to it. So now it updates more frequently, meaning that you'll get a smoother trajectory. So when you're following your own ship icon, it's very, very smooth now.
Nice.
And as you can see here behind us, we're also allowing for local traffic. And what I mean by that is that we have already had traffic from VATSIM and IVAO plotted on here.
Wow.
And we're going to add other networks as well. But now we're allowing for local applications to insert traffic into Navigraph charts. So this is beyond ATC, for instance.
Okay.
And as you can see, this is quite a busy airport at the moment.
Yeah.
I believe it's O'Hare.
Okay, I was going to ask. Yeah, that looks like it.
Yep. So this is kind of, to me, this is non-human behavior.
Right.
But someone is telling me that this is actually following schedule, so it might be this busy. Although I'm doubting it. Maybe someone of your followers might be able to comment on this. I wouldn't know. Yeah. But so what you see here is artificial intelligence, AI traffic being inserted straight into Navigraph charts.
Nice. And you mentioned, VATSIM, some others. How about I know some are interested in Pilot Edge. Any just kind of across the board, or
that's coming as well. That's coming as well. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. It seems like you guys are expanding your database of different airports and that, because sometimes you have some of these, when we're doing GA flights, there's some of these outlier airports that may or may not always be in there. So is that something you can comment on in terms of expanding? Because it sounds like with the GA stuff you are in Europe, like you said, but anything on that?
Yeah, not only can I comment on it, I can also tell you why that is.
Okay.
Because in the very beginning, we started working with the SAS Flight Support Group, and SAS, Scandinavian Airline Systems, had a pronounced coverage in Europe and Scandinavia. Then, as we went on to work with Lufthansa, we got a different network, and now that we're working with Jeppesen, we have yet another type of network. This network is reflecting the real-world demand.
Okay.
So the customers of Jeppesen, it's their need that is reflected in the data that we get from Jeppesen, right? So we try to expand on this, of course, because and we sometimes find VFR airports, or we get VFR waypoints, for instance, that might not be in readily available for IFR pilots.
Sure.
Yep. So we add on to this data, but typically it's Jeppesen data, but from various sources. I'll give you yet another example. Jeppesen has another data product called AMDB, Airport Mapping Database, and that's only available for bigger, more complex airports, so only 1,000 of them. But that's all we need in order to create something like this taxiway routing, for instance. Take that database and we create a mesh onto which we apply this route finding algorithm of ours. But for this to work, we only need data for the 1,000 airports. So to answer your question, we take several different data sources, typically from Jeppesen, and we put it all together in a product that doesn't exist in the real world, but it does exist for flight simulator pilots. And the reason why it exists for us is because we fly in so many different ways all the time. You, as a flight simulator enthusiast, you might not only fly locally, you may want to fly across the globe.
Right.
So you have a very atypical need compared to the real world customers. Yes.
Yeah, and that's obviously got to be something that you got to try to accommodate in the best way you can. But it sounds like you've been doing this mesh stuff and actually helps us that are doing some of those outlier routes. So that's really good to know, and that's really good information, Magnus.
We're treating the data in order to make our products possible. That's one thing I'm saying, and the other thing I'm saying is that we are very demanding as a customer for Jeppesen, because there's no airline in the world that has the same demand as the 1.5 million flight simulator enthusiasts that are customers with Navigraph.
Right.
I'll tell you a little bit about our background. So Stephen and I, who founded the company some 20 years ago, we did our internship at the European Agency for the Safety of Air Navigation called Eurocontrol.
Okay.
And at Eurocontrol, we did virtual reality air traffic towers. So we were doing air traffic control using virtual reality.
Okay.
And NASA caught wind of this, and they wanted us to come over to San Francisco and do research at Ames. So already there, we were well interested in the aviation domain. As a side job, we were also making some extra money running an IT business of our own, and we had SAS as clients. And there, we learned that there was a need for flight simulation data. So we put knowledge from these both domains together and started Navigraph, and that's how it came about. So our interest in aviation comes from research and from computer graphics. We are not pilots, but about a third of the members of the Navigraph team are pilots in one capacity or another.
That's awesome. Well, I just want to say, again, Magnus, thank you for this opportunity to interview you and Navigraph. I've been talking about it with all of you. You got to get it if you don't have it, because it is worth it. They keep developing, keep enhancing it like we talked about. And again, Magnus, thank you.
Thank you.